Hello, I'm Ouch110. How are you all? What the hell is wrong with me today? I don't know. Today I'm doing a Black Phoenix Alchemy Lab review. I realised I hadn't done one since I did my collection video in December, so it's well overdue. Sorry all of you BPAL people that watch my BPAL reviews. If you haven't seen my collection one, I'll post a link up here to it. It seemed like forever ago that I did that. But anyway, I've chosen to do this one. It's called Smut. The reason I've chosen to do this one now is because this is a limited edition that comes back every year around Valentine's Day. They release a massive set of fragrance called Lupercalia. I don't know if I pronounced that right. It might be Lupercalia, I'm not sure. But they release them, yeah, around Valentine's Day, well, usually end of January, and they're available for a few months. So this is a limited edition, but it's available now for a little while longer, as far as I know. So the Lupercalias seem to be getting bigger and bigger and bigger every single time they release them. They used to do just a set of Lupercalia oils. They're usually based on eroticism, basically, novels, I guess, and paintings, things like that, nude paintings, things that are quite sexual. And a couple of years ago, or about, I don't know, 5 or 6 years ago, they also started to do another set within the Lupercalia called Shunga, and those are all based on Japanese erotic paintings. They've got really interesting compositions, things like rice and just Japanesey things like cherry blossom and stuff like that. A lot of them are quite romantic. They always do also a set of, they used to be called a box of chocolates, as it's Valentine's and everything like that, and they're about 6 usually, 6 fragrances that are very gourmand, based around chocolate. This year's ones are called a box of bonbons, and they are chocolatey scents as well, but they've infused into them a lot of their very well-known and best-selling fragrances as well. But this year they've also done another set on top of it, if that wasn't enough, that is called an Ode to, and they've done an Ode to Mars, an Ode to Venus, and there's lots of naked men on their website if you want to go and look at the pictures. But I'm reviewing Smut. It's one that's in the just regular Lupercalia Valentine's-y fragrances, and mine's the 2008 version, but they don't change the composition. It's always the same every year. So the description, they changed recently, not the notes, but what they used to say about it. It used to say BPAL loves the smut, but this year it says something like smut, what an amazing word, or what a, oh no, it says quintessentially BPAL filth, something like that. Anyway, the notes are, it says 3 swarthy, smutty musks, sweetened by sugar, and then woozy with dark boozy notes. So, if you don't know me already, I love the darker side of BPAL. When they do a dark fragrance, when they're putting incense and musks into things, I'm all over it like a rash. And when I first smelled this, it immediately reminded me of one of my favourite BPALs, which is called Scheherazade, which I'll also post a link to up here, because I've reviewed that too. But for now, let's talk about Smut. My label was this. You probably won't be able to see it properly, but the picture was at the beginning anyway. The label this year is actually of 2 people having sex, so be careful if you're going to buy it for a present, just in case you offend someone. So what does it smell like? It's amazing, basically. It's one of the ones that this is the kind of BPAL fragrance that I live for. I love them. So it says it's got 3 musks in it. I can immediately tell it's got red musk, which I'm not sure if that's an actual thing, or if it's, I've said this before as well, if it's something that BPAL have created, an accord. But what it is a very deep, sensual, very, very incensey musk, and it's kind of thick and heady, really sexy as well, and it just kind of get wisps. I was going to say wafts and wisps at the same time. So yeah, you get wasps of really sexual, kind of, I don't know, a bit carnal smelling, incensey musk. It reminds me of something you'd smell in India, and I absolutely love it. I can also smell in there, it's drying here a bit more. I can also smell, I'm going to take a stab in the dark and say that it's white musk, because there is something in there that's a little bit dainty and clean smelling, and not as heavy as a lot of their red musk blends which I've smelled before. So it's, as far as their incensey blends go on a scale, I'd still put this at about a number 7. It's still up there with something quite dark and heavy, but I think there must be white musk in there that's kind of just lightening the mood a little bit, I would say. When it comes to the boozy and the sugar part of it, I would say probably not. I would say it's only slightly boozy. It feels like there's just a tinge of something like a dark spirit in there, something like rum, I would say, or brandy, or cognac, which I think is brandy, something like that. It's like a dark boozy note, but it's only a little bit. It's not like it's overtaken with this alcoholic kind of smell. So I like that. It has got a sweetness, so even if it does say it's got sugar in it, it's only a little bit sugary. The red musk and the incensey tones are the main players of this fragrance, and I just love it. It's so sensual and kind of head shoppy, which I know Black Phoenix people hate that word, but when you do walk into these kind of occult bookstores, you do get that kind of smell, like Camden Market in London if you've been. So it does have that. It smells like a dark red kind of fragrance, a tiny little bit smoky as well, and with a lot of their fragrances that are in this kind of spectrum of being dark and smoky and incensey, it does leave a lovely trail. It's definitely a nighttime fragrance. It's a little bit gothic smelling, and I absolutely love it. I've only worn it a few times. I've only got half left. It's because I've sent it to people. I should stop doing that. I really should. I'm joking. I like it really. It's fun to share the perfume love. So yeah, that's it really. It also, just before I go, it also kind of smells like it might have something like champaca incense in it as well. There's another fragrance of theirs I've got called Midnight on the Midway, and I can smell a similar vibe to that. So yes, beautifully musky, of course, clean as well as being incensey, red musk, Indian-y kind of smelling, and I would say quite typical of their dark fragrances, but still a massive important one in my fragrance collection, and you can get it now as well. So that's it. Thanks for watching. Click up here to subscribe, and I'll see you guys as soon as I can for another review. Goodbye.